That's who we are. The best on the planet. Unbelievable.
I love that. It's what I love.
First of all, before we go on tomorrow, we'll just want to say about Greg Taylor, mate. That's why the boys call him Oxo, because he's absolutely different gravy.
You look as if you've just come straight away from the Green Brigade.
Aye, we'd have meeting at 6:30, mate. Yes, good evening. We're back with a Celtic Unrestricted View, and it's myself, JP, joining me tonight on this fantastic show for you. There's my good man, Andy Gray, as we call him, Ryan, and our good mate, Ada. Well, guys, where do I start? Apart from we are League Cup champions. Absolutely unbelievable. Just before I do start, guys, you'll see across the running bar. Get yourself over to the Celtic FC Foundation Supporters Club. They're on Facebook and Twitter. They're running an event which is on Saturday the 6th of May, and it's called Seville the Celtic Way. Now, this is a chance before tomorrow to get your early bird tickets. Per head it's £60. Table of 10 is £600. If you were to buy after Tuesday, it then becomes £65 per person, or your table of 10, £650. Contact Lisa Miller. She's the chair of the Celtic FC Foundation Supporter Club. Get yourself over, guys, if you want to go to that fantastic event. It's going to be held in the Crown Plaza Hotel in Glasgow. So please, guys, check it out if you get the time. Now, on to the important business. What a result, lads. And we're all smiling. Me and Ryan have got our hoodies on because there's still a massive gap in the league table, which means it's -9 in Glasgow at the moment. So, hey, I know you've got a hoodie on, but it's not the same as us Green Brigade mob, you know. It's obviously, as Barry Bannon said in the title list there. He was dead cheeky that night, but Ryan, wasn't he? Need to have a word with him about that. In fact, I wasn't happy with that. I was wondering how you never came back, mate. You're normally so witty in that sort of precise moment in time, but hey ho. Ada, I'll come to you, mate. I know you were at the game, buddy. Talk us through it, mate. What was your overall feeling before the game, and did it live up to your expectations?
See, the build up through the week, I think as the days went on, I was getting more and more confident, and then Saturday hit, and honestly, my confidence actually died. I was like, wasn't it that I didn't think we would win it? I don't know what it was. I think it's just that normal build up to a derby in it. And I had the rains, and I couldn't sleep, man, whole night. And the wee man sleeping next to me, and I'm lying awake all night just on my phone and drop my reins off before you go to the game, man. I'm sitting literally my head on the dashboard, the whole way back with the reins, man. It's like, I can't handle this. The day before a game and before the game kicked off, even before a goal scored, man, I don't know how anybody enjoys it. I really don't, man. It's the worst feeling in the world. But honestly, see, once you're in that stadium and everything's going off and everybody around about you's feeling the same, but you're all feeling it together and you all get through it together. Honestly, unreal, man, unreal.
And just as Ada says there, Ryan, and obviously as the banner says as well, the other mob, as we're called now, they lifted the cup yesterday. And as Ada says, mate, pre-match nerves are always a common thing for supporters. I think it's been going on now for obviously generations. For yourself, mate, was it pre-match nerves, or how did you feel going into the game yesterday? And did it live up to your expectations?
See, to be fair, mate, you know my feelings on it, mate. It wasn't a surprise, to be fair. We all says in the pre-match before it, we were all quite confident. Obviously, you don't want to sit and say scorelines because you can't really guess a scoreline in these competitions, especially finals. You did expect it a bit tight because cup finals are tight. It doesn't matter if it's Celtic, Rangers, Aberdeen, Kilmarnock. They are normally the first, like Ada says, normally the first half an hour or so, it's kind of cagey. Anybody which was an early goal and you're kind of nip and tuck. But I was quite confident on it all the way up. But I do agree with Ada. It's hard to see unless you get that first goal. You can't really enjoy it. You do get before the game, I'm fine. But as soon as it kicks off, your heart's beating and you're just like every bit of emotion on the game. You're moving about and you're swelling and you're just everything about it. It's just different than any other game. Even if it's a league game, it's totally different because every ball you're there, you're following every pass and. But overall feeling, mate, absolutely delighted, and it's good to. We'll probably talk about it in the pod, mate. But I'm actually glad some of the other side are actually realising now that we are a wee bit away now. But I don't know why it's took us to beat them in a cup finals for them to realise that, because we could have said that before the game yesterday. So, but I, mate, overall very, very good to get another trophy in the bag and reset the standards, mate.
Aye, that was an interesting banner either during the game. Well, it was towards the end of the game I'd seen it. It was like 22 trophies in 11 years. And it says at the bottom, mate, we set the standards. I found that quite tongue-in-cheek. Well, obviously, you were at the game, mate. I don't know if you were you running about near that, or did you see that banner at all?
I wasn't far away from it, but I couldn't. From where I was sitting, I couldn't see it. But no long after that, I started getting messages on my phone and all that, and people posting pictures, man. Brilliant. Honestly, brilliant. You knew when they done that banner last week that you knew they were going to come back with something. We've got we've the Green Brigade and the other outfits, like the boys or something they call them, man. They always come up with stuff that's unreal, stuff that goes like, how many times have we done it with their banners? We've done something to kind of make them feel a wee bit I think about what they've done. Two at Ibrox that I can remember. The big one with the 3 letters emblazoned on our chest, and we done the 3 letters emblazoned on them. We've done another one that was a bus. I don't know if you remember that one, man. That was years ago.
I remember that one, aye.
I'll need to find it. They did a bus, and that was basically. I knew one of the boys, and it's basically one of the boys that was in the Onion Bell. He was letting the Green Brigade know I think it was happening, and then I think that they found out who it was letting the Green Brigade know everything that was going on, and then they get rid of that boy. So that'll probably not happen again the way it did, but just the way to come away the next week, have that banner ready. The fact that they've went to the effort to make a banner when they could have lost, and it's getting right back in the bin, but
no, definitely. And obviously, watching the game on TV, Ada, it kind of looked from afar that, especially from our end, it just looked like non-stop singing. It certainly sounded like that for the TV. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to go yesterday. But watching it on the TV, it just looked like a total party atmosphere. Would that be accurate?
Oh! From start to finish, honestly, man, I couldn't talk last night. I'm alright today, man. But I lost my voice last night, man. It was honestly from start to about 20-25 minutes before the game kicked off, just constant. For then till we started, even leaving, singing, going through down the stairs, and just never stopped. One of the best atmospheres I've experienced out with Europe in the last good few years anyway.
I think when it comes to atmosphere, Ryan, and the sort of fixtures, I think obviously being the last one that springs to my mind right away is the one last February, the Wednesday night game. That just felt like a total, as Ada says, a European night. That just felt like a Champions League experience that night. And we spoke about it. You just knew walking into Celtic Park that night, something special was ready to unveil right in front of you. But it's a bit similar to what we've been saying all along. But this Ange Postecoglou team, you kind of get into the next game going, like, is this a day something more is going to come? Is this a day something more special is going to appear? And you kind of, as it was for me, as approaching the game yesterday, mate, it was kind of that sort of feeling again. It was that sort of, right, it's a cup final, but Ange spoke at length, especially pre-match, you know, getting after them and getting in their faces and to be honest, mate, especially in the first half, I thought we done it right to the letter.
I think the way the game went, mate, it was similar to the game at Ibrox. We took the game for start, and then obviously a wee bit of wobble in the game at Ibrox, and it kind of for a wee bit of 10-15 minutes we lost the plot. It was a wee bit yesterday the same. We were kind of cruising, in my opinion, and then that mistake happened with Moy. They score, and then for 10 minutes we're a wee bit like just settle down, relax, just weather a bit of the storm, because it's only natural, because when a team scores against you, they're going to try and get on top of you. So it's only natural where you're a wee bit nervous. It's a cup final. You don't want to get another goal against you. So, but I thought we weathered the storm, mate. And I thought everything that the manager obviously says it worked, because you walked out with the cup. And again, people might criticise you. People might say that I'm right, but I still don't think we were out of second or third gear. Like, we weren't explosive. I don't know if that was due to the pitch.
Yeah,
the pitch didn't help. And some the balls were even. I know Rangers players obviously, right. Some of them are very, very decent players. Even their touches was away with it, and I'm like myself, this pitch is terrible for an occasion like this. You've got balls bobbing everywhere, but I genuinely believe, mate, that it's. I genuinely believe the scoreline flattered them. Like, genuinely, apart from Sakala's miss and the goal, I can't tell you any other chance he really had. Like a proper chance. Like, we were all them in most of the game in terms of chances. Haskabanovic should have scored at the end, O'Reilly should have scored. It could be 4 or 5-1 at the end.
Kyogo's either as well.
Aye. Do you know what? I'll tell you what, Barry, he deserves a bit of slack for that, because that was a poor header. I thought he should have scored, to be fair. But I can't really slag him, mate. He scored 2 goals and one's the final. So, but listen, Ange, mate, there's only so much we can say about him, because there's not enough to say about him. He's been absolutely tremendous. And again, maybe a wee bit of respect for the other side, that they're actually really realising, some of them who are real fans and they know football and they're no blinded by their spect, they're actually realising now that what this guy's doing to Celtic and what he's done. They're even talking about how we could overpass him in trophies in the next year or two when Ange's still here. If I'm a Rangers fan, that's my thinking, then I'll be worried.
Couple of wee comments just coming in, one off of YouTube. Joseph Agnew, hail boys, happy days. Hail Joseph, cheers for tuning in, mate. I've got one called the O-Bots. That's probably directed at you, Ada. Just says, tell the wee man hello from Stobo. With East Shamrock. So I'm assuming we've got your fan club on the Nightways as well, mate. And there's another one here for Tam Mac. Tam Mac says, the happier mob. I seen that one earlier on as well, Tam. I think that's probably more fitting for the day, definitely. No, again, guys, cheers for tuning in. Much appreciated. Just on, you were saying there, you mentioned the man himself there, Ryan, a wee minute ago. Obviously, the one that he missed. He done more talking during the week than Michael Beale's done the last 4 months. Here he's here. So, yes, we're the better team, so much better, but we're 9 points behind. We'll keep fighting anyway. I think we are such a better club, a far better club And this is for your man here, Mr. Sakala. Aider, I'll come to you with that one. I find it very astonishing that this isn't the first time this has happened. And this repeated level of deludedness that we see for us, for this team. It's absolutely astounding. And it's happening game after game after game. You know, if it's not their manager, it's their new players. If it's not their new players, it's one or two of the older players. You think they would just try and go on with the game instead of trying to, like open their mouth and let their belly rumble.
Aye, it's like me telling David, I've got better hair than him, innit? Let's be honest, man.
Big David Ginola.
It's they're just I don't know if it's a PR team telling them to say this stuff, man. But it's not as if this is, as you say, it's not a one laugh. It's every year. It's the build up to every big game. It's the build up to every season. They're always, as we call it, as you look at it, every year in the summer, they just have this big massive build up. Half of themselves, half of the media, the off season cup, I call it. They win it every year. Every year they win the league before a ball's even kicked. And the rain heads and the media seeds, it's the way it's put out to us. And then before this, they've been talking about this cup final since the semi final. And when you look at Celtic, nobody in our team, including our manager, started talking about it till we finished our last game before we played this. To them, this was the most important part of their season. But the day this thing, they build themselves up and set themselves up for a monumental fall. It's wild to me, man. How many things? Not just Sakara, but Beale and other players as well, and fans. And if that's us, I'd be raging at that. If we had Callum McGregor or a Moy coming out and telling us how much better we are than the team we're going to play, how this, that, and the other. It's mental. You go in, and the build up especially, you give respect to our team. Doesn't matter who the team is, you give respect to them, and you come in there, and as we always do, with their talking on the park, because say you're talking after the park doesn't win you trophies. It's crazy. I don't know how they stand for it. And don't get me wrong, the fans that I know don't stand for it. They don't like it. So there's got to be somewhere within their PR team, within their management system, who turns around and tells them, look, want to keep your mouth shut. It goes back to the whole Graham Souness with the men against boys, doesn't it? It's don't say nothing till the game's over. Once the game's over, open your mouth and give your excuses. It's better to ask for forgiveness than it is to ask for permission, if you know what I mean. So keep your mouth shut, and at the end of it, come out and say something, whether you win or you lose. If you win, come out and say we're the better team, because you won on the day. And you're only as good as your last game, so you're the better team. But don't say nothing until a ball's kicked.
Yeah, Ryan, I think that's quite important, mate, because time and time again they've done it, and they've been made to eat humble pie and look silly. And it's been happening now for this team come into the league properly. Like I says on Friday, mate, when we were all on chatting before the game, it wasn't long ago, mate, this mob were all walking about with Warburton's loaf packets on their head going to games. So you're laughing. You see it, you can't get serious about it because you can't take them seriously, if that makes sense, because of the way they carry on. They're the most deluded. I don't know how to put it. Seriously, they're the most deluded I've ever came across, ever. They're so gullible. Manager after manager after manager preaching to the choir. And, telling them this and promising them this and promising them that. And, things will get better if you turn up in a suit and brown brogues and things will do this. And absolute nonsense. Just do your talking on the pitch. And some of them aren't even good enough to do that. So, the team last year, given Big Shirley Bassey and Big Aribo. Obviously, they're not there now. But the nucleus of the team last year was there. They weren't good enough to stop Celtic winning the league last season. How were they ever going to be good enough to stop us again this season when we have added to it? So, and in my opinion, there was a gulf last season when we after the February game, and then we caught them and then overtook them. And for me, the gulf's just stumbling on and stumbling on. And it's only, as you said at the beginning there, it's only going to get bigger. So stop thinking and, you know, in your head that you're something that you know, because you're clearly no. Because results don't tell lies. So, I don't know what your thoughts are on the Sakala thing there, mate, but I just find it totally astonishing.
I said it on the Friday show with Barry and Baza. I've said it to you personally, I've said to other guys as well. It's absolutely crazy. Like, I've never seen a team, see in our league, right? See, if Man U play Man City, you're not going to see the Man U manager come out and saying, we are better Man City, we'll do this and we'll do that and we'll do that. You won't see Pep Guardiola saying we are better than Man U. You never see that. So why is it them? Is it because it's us? I really don't know why.
What was his recent one? I know. Sorry, Ryan. What was his recent one? I know that really. I laughed at that one. I know. I didn't come here to look across the city and watch your other team celebrate.
Well, we've just seen his teams.
What happened yesterday then?
He's seen the other team celebrate and he's probably going to see he's winning league, barring Celtic. Celtic need Celtic need to lose 4 games for them to win the league. We've not lost 4 games in the last 2 years or 3 years, probably 2 and a bit year, give or take. Do you know what I mean? So, listen, I know football's a crazy game. You can get 3-4 goals within 3 or 4 minutes. It happens, but it's going to be an absolute catastrophic downfall for us to lose the league. So you probably could say the league's just about done, but you can't say it in gospel because football is a mental game. But nobody can really see it, mate. It would be a tremendous shock. We're all sitting saying, Ange is the best thing since sliced bread. We see if he lost the league, you're like, Ange, I think that's not on. That can't happen. So
I'll be honest with you, Ryan. If he loses the league, mate, you're going on them.
No, but listen. I do try my best to be unbiased, mate. But see, sometimes when you see some of the guff they're coming with, it's honestly Michael Beale, right? See, as Zeda says, if I was their fans and he's there, I was him this morning as well. His morning coffee. He's like, what did he have? Caramel or you know what I mean? He was away with the ferry this morning, so poor Michael. But in general, I'm agreeing with Eda that if I was their fans and that's my manager talking, the manager was contemplating defeat. Doesn't matter if I win or lose this game, I've still got a bad job. Losing should not be in your mentality about that game. It should just be right. Like you have said, you do your talking in the park, you prepare the best you can, you put the best team out as you can, and you try and win the game. And then after the game, you go, look, we weren't good enough from the day, we weren't fit enough, we weren't doing this, we weren't doing this. Then you put your discussions out. Don't do it before the game because, like you says, he's talking to himself into a defeat. The same at Ibrox. The only reason they didn't get beat was due to us basically mistakes, in my opinion. We been off the boil. We let ourselves be uncalm and normally we are calm. But it's just a mentality. See some of the real fans who know football and they're actually quite balanced and they're no unbiased and they know football. They know they're in their sticky patch right now, big time. They've not got enough money to go and spend a cash bill that we got, and even the money we spent is money they brought in. It's no out Celtic bank. Maybe $1 million or $2 is maybe out the bank, but in terms of the actual full recruitment, it's through getting through the Champions League, winning the league, selling Ayer, Edward, Christie, Bios, all the guys. Your season tickets, your training gear, that's all that in the ones. They've not got that. It's just, they had their best season last year in how many years in terms of financial benefit, and they still can't sign players. Still can't do it.
Can't sell them either.
You've got his free transfers and loans, and they're talking about paying £5 million for Tillman. I wouldn't pay 5 pence. Did you see him yesterday? He wasn't fit, right? That's another thing. As much as we like Ian Rangers a bit of jip, etc., I kind of half. I'm not going to say I feel for fans, but I don't. But their managers put out no the strongest team for a final. We all knew. I said to my old man before the game. He said that Tillman and Lundstrom have only trained 2 or 3 games before the game. You cannot train 2 to 3 games before a cup final against a team like Celtic and expect to be flown fully fit. You've signed guys like who this Rask is meant to be the best things in sliced bread. He's played about 90 minutes. Or he's a guy that's going to win the league. Cantwell came on and was like a bit of paper flying in the air. It was so paper thin. He's not strong enough. It's all right being technical, but see Scotland, you need to be tough and ready. And they guys they just in a lot for the battle. Tavernier's the biggest loser captain in Scotland, but yet he's the most consistent player in Scotland. I think they need to kind of revalue that. But overall, mate, I think the fans really realise now that they're up against a different animal this season. Brendan Rodgers gave us some amazing times, mate, but just sit back and enjoy this journey because, like we've seen when we lost to 10, it doesn't always go your way. It doesn't always come success. So enjoy every trophy you win and rub it in, by the way. On your Twitter, your TikToks, Facebook, whatever, rub it in because you need to enjoy these moments as a fan. Because if you can't enjoy winning, mate, then what is the point being in football? What is the point supporting football? Like Ada says, the emotions of a football game leading up to it, during the game, after it, it is a bit of relief, as Ange says. But listen, we're a far better team. There's no doubt about it. Like you says other week when we get a bit of jump TikTok when I put the wee finger up. We're a far better team financially, far better team on the park. We've got better. Every single thing about the club is better. And I think the hard Rangers fans who know football are starting to realise that Michael Beale has got a massive rebuild to do.
Couple of more wee comments, Ada, before I bring you back in. One for YouTube. Francis Leicester's with us tonight. Evening, Francis. Cheers for joining us, mate. He says their mentality is built around being staunch, playing to the gallery. Obviously, extreme. They're a bit extreme, as Francis is alluding to there.
Silly,
obviously,
Francis. Come on.
Anthony's with us as well. He says it's like what you said, JP. Half the stuff he came out with isn't true, and other stuff's hard to believe. So it's more or less just along the same. Yeah, I totally agree, guys. Again, cheers for tuning in with us. Another one from Monty. Evening, guys. Hope you all had a great day and night last night. I did. Yeah, we all did, Monty. Thanks very much, mate. And again, cheers for tuning in. Ada, much more about Ryan was saying there. You've got to be silly, I think, and a wee bit like you says as well. Somebody for the PR team or the press office needs to get a grip of him and properly have a chat with him before, because surely that must happen. You must go and have a wee bit of dialogue about but what are they going to? Because the press officer's job is to find out roughly what the press are going to be asking beforehand, before you go out to speak to them. Wow. And then they get adjusted what way you would reply. So they might ask you a couple of questions to preheat you up kind of thing for it, and prepare you for it. So, well, I'm assuming that's what a press officer, if you're not doing that, then you're in the wrong employment. So I think basically what about Ryan was saying, are you just going out there and making that up just because you want your fans to, oh yes, he's saying that, yeah, see a beauty? Or do you firmly believe that what you're saying is actually true and you're that deluded about it that you're just going to be silly in front of a camera? Which one is it?
To me, it goes two ways. First of all, there shouldn't be a top club in all football where the players are in the media trained to the highest level. You shouldn't be out there and saying stupid things. But on the flip of that is, how long have we seen this happen at Rangers? Before they died and once they came back, it's always been this. As your man Francis said there, they're always playing to the gallery. All the time it's coming out with daft wee quotes. The other mob, oh, that'll get them going, Get them going all you want. Get them going doesn't win you games of football. Keep calm, go out there, talk. As I said, everybody should be media trained. See if you listen to the interviews of almost every player and most managers, their answers to the questions are almost identical. Worded a bit different, but the answers are always the same answers. They're just generic answers you get the press. You never give away too much. You never build yourself up to be anything you know. You big up your own team. You talk about your own players, how good they are, how good they are walking, playing around about you, how they're a strong team, how you have got good mentality in the dressing room. You don't go talking about the other team and talking about how you're better than them, how no matter what's happened, we're still the better team. But it's just mental talk. As you said, playing to gallery and all the other things they do with the brown brogues and bringing it. See, that's another thing. See, get the players to wear brown brogues. Couldn't care less. Why do you need to announce it publicly? It's just the fans have nothing to make them happy. Right? How will we make them happy? We'll tell them we'll wear brown brogues. That's it. That'll give them something to celebrate. Don't get a trophy for it, but at least they'll be happy on Twitter and TikTok and Facebook for 10 minutes. And that's about all they've got to offer them. It's something I can't grasp. The way Rangers are now and the way they're talking, you would think that they won the double last year. You'd think they were going to at least win a double this year when they've done none of these things. It's absolutely bonkers to me how they talk. I'll never wrap my head around it. When Celtic, if you remember back when Dale was here, we were 6 points ahead of Aberdeen and they made it as if we were in a crisis. Rangers and their players and their staff are getting away with saying these things and nobody calls it out apart from the opposing fans. It's something I've said it 100 times, I'll never be able to wrap my head around it ever in my life. And it's happened for years, and it will never stop happening. They'll keep doing it. Don't get it, man.
No, I'm totally agreeing with you. What a wee comment is in for us. Our good friend Barry Bannon's decided to join us tonight. Evening, Bazza.
Evening, Bazza.
Evening, lads. Another trophy for the famous Glasgow Celtic. JP, Celtic's big players turned up. None of the other mobs did. Aye, I think that's more to the point. I just don't think Bazza can get enough of us, Ryan. I'm not too sure. We kind of had an incline he was going to be watching because we put his favourite hoodies on tonight as well. So we had a wee idea of be tuning in. But no, I totally agree with Ada there, Ryan. I just think that the half of it is they can't help themselves. I just think it's as if it's like a self of entitlement to them. It's like everybody else and no them, if that makes sense. Like everybody's against them and, you know, they're against the world and all that. And they've created this wee kind of tug of war in their own sort of heads. For some reason, I've never understood it. And you just watch, like we said earlier on, the boy asking, you know, he comes out and he says, we want to show that we're a better team, but he's under a better team. So who's putting their horn up your back and making you say that, sir? Like, you came on and you weren't even one of their best players. First touch of the ball, you gave it away. Your second touch was a foul on a badder. It should have been a yellow. By the way, did you see that yesterday? There should have been a yellow card.
A yellow card.
I see that. I watched the game again today. I seen it then, man. I never seen it before, but I seen it today.
That's a yellow card. Look, if he's pulling everything else back, I thought it was a bad or a birthdays yesterday because he gave out that many cards. It was unbelievable. But he's pulling it back, and you've got to give him a yellow card, or at least go back to the player and book him. I just couldn't get that at all, and then he let it go. And then the foul happens again when Cantwell takes Haskabanovic right out of the game up at the box. But unbelievable. I mean, just what they're saying, Ryan, just doesn't marry up with what is reality. And I find it so baffling, mate.
It's a bit about respect as well, JP. It's all right talking yourself up, saying, right, we want to win for the fans, we want to win for the club, we want to win this to enhances and momentum, etc., etc. It's not to prove you're the better team. It's all about what you want to do for your club. It's all, and I've seen as well. I didn't see it during the game or after the game, etc., but I've seen it today. And Rangers didn't even put Celtic's name on their strip. Have you seen that?
I seen that this morning.
So Celtic had Rangers and Celtic League Cup final. See that on the strips have got to be thing on their taps.
Uh-huh.
Rangers just had League Cup final. Dude, listen, that's
no.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're rivals or no, JP. It's about respect. You're still colleagues in the day. You're still for 90 minutes. You hate each other, and it's rivalry for fans. I totally get that.
See, to be fair, I can't. Maybe they don't know how to spell that. I don't know because
you've still got to have some sort of respect.
This is the same mob I had. Came our roof's name was Roffy on the back of his top. Remember that?
And it's not just that as well. I know. Listen, I've been in the end of getting beaten finals, etc., losing leagues. Listen, it's a horrible feeling, but you clap your opponents off as well, and you go into the tunnel. You show a bit of decor and a bit of respect. They just went down the tunnel. Listen, it's the hardest thing in the world, getting beaten cup final with rivals. It's horrible getting beat in any football game. But you clap your horn, show a bit of respect, and then go away and down your sorrows or whatever you're away today. Go for a meal in La Vita and celebrate because you're the best team. I don't know what you're doing, but sometimes being a good loser is actually it shows you a bit of class as well. But again, with some of the things like Ada say, some things in the past, I don't know if class can bring some of the comments. Listen, not every player and every fan for your side and their side is bad, etc. But sometimes, especially like Ada says, through the years, they've got away with absolute torture, some of the headlines and some of the interviews. And let's be fair, it's big time butting them in the backside. Totally big time. Like, he started pick battles with Sutton and calling Ange lucky and this and that. Like, I've generally never seen it before in any other division or league in the world. It's absolutely bonkers. I mean, like Eda says, working to Brown Brogues out. Why is that a headline in the papers? What? Are you kidding me on? Is that because you need to go to Slater's and get a sponsorship because you can't afford them yourself? Like, come on. Get a grip. It's a pair of shoes, but is that going to make you be an amazing player because you've got a nice suit and all that on? Listen, turn up with a pre-match track, it doesn't matter. You're still the same player. End of the day, we showed we're by far the best team. Like me and you have said, how many months and days, mate? We are best team. Massive golfing quality of players. Look who we bring on the park. Like I say to you, Barry and Baza, on Friday, who did we bring on? Haskabanovic. Who did they bring on? Scott Wright. Thank you very much.
It's quite hardly timed that because I was just about to go into squads now. Aidan, I don't know about you, but we've kind of spoke at length, and I don't know how much of the when you're not on ways, I don't know how much you get to see yourself, but obviously we speak at length about the differences with squads, and you're looking at our squad and then you look at our bench. The bench is actually first team players if you look at it. Do you know what I mean? They're all guys that could just come in and start, and you wouldn't think. Because, right, I've got to put my hands up. I got it right the last time with the team in terms of Alistair Johnson playing and I threw a curveball in there. Yous picked Aaron Moy to play on Friday night, and obviously I picked O'Reilly. So,
by the way, he was brilliant. Apart from his mistake for the goal, he was brilliant. Brilliant.
Aye. No, definitely. There was no qualms with it at all. But what I was ready to say to you there was, Ada, it doesn't matter what team Ange picks now, because us as a fan base have just become accustomed to the wee changes that he makes. And it doesn't really affect the team's performance. But one other thing I wanted to touch on there before I bring you in is, did anybody notice the difference in what he done yesterday in terms of the small minor like man changes on the pitch he done? So what he done was, he knew Sakala had great pace, and he moved Hatate to the left-hand side to help cover Greg Taylor. Mm-hmm. Sakala never moved. Why? Because he had a guy so technical in Hatate that every time the ball came across, he was so comfortable with 2 feet. When Sakala presses, the ball's either gone that way or it's gone, but 9 times out of 10 it's gone forward. So he wasn't able to get set and stone Greg Taylor up one. And it was the same at the far side as well. So he brought sort of Aaron Moy into the right-hand side to sort of cover Kent to help Alistair Johnson. So I noticed that yesterday pretty early on, and I thought that's quite clever for Ange, because Ange thought maybe that's what hurted us at Ibrox in the 2 weeks game. You know, Sakala's pace, and obviously that day, we didn't know that day Juranovic was in David Fernandez's old bunk bed or whatever he was sleeping in the night before, because that's the way he turned up that day. He just looked out of sorts. And every time David Fernandez played for Celtic, that's the way he looked. He looked as if he just came off a 3-day bender or a 3-day stag do in Magaluf. But I noticed he changes pretty early on yesterday, and I think that's really proactive and really, really clever for your manager. But in terms of teams, mate, how would you compare, obviously, the squad sizes and depth throughout the two teams?
Night and day. How many? Doesn't matter. See, when that team goes out at 1:45 and you're looking at it, he could have put MD in there and you're looking at it going, that's your strongest team. And he could have picked any player off the bench and replaced somebody in that lineup, and you'd be like, aye, that's your strongest team. There isn't a player that comes in that you think makes us look weaker than what we are. And Ange touched on it himself. He's like, it doesn't matter who I play, every player knows their role. It's that simple. They 9 men in the bench could have come on and started, and nobody would have blinked an eye. Even Seagrass, the keeper, you wouldn't have blinked an eye at who was playing. It would have been your strongest team. The subs they made later on, I was questioning, but do you know what? They changed the game for us, especially when don't ask me to remember who they were, right? But when the third and fourth sub, I'm sure it was it Awata and Haksabanovic?
Aye.
I remember it. I thought they two were brilliant when they came on. I thought Awata ran everywhere. He just covered every blade of grass he could in the short space of time that he had, and I thought it was brilliant. Haksabanovic and all, constant pressing, and it changed the game for the pressure we were under after they get that goal. As soon as they two came on, I thought it just changed the flow of the game again. And as you said, we nearly scored another 2-3 towards the end of the game after they'd made the changes. And I was questioning when they made them as well, going, oh, why are you taking Kyogo off? Why are you taking Moy off? Or whoever, I can't remember. Is that right? Or, I don't know, man. I was right, but I just remember questioning, going, what's he doing? And honestly, I can't remember much of the game yesterday. Anyway, there was players I was during the game, the first half, Maeda, I was giving him some amount of stick. See, when I've watched that game again today, I'm like, the guy's been brilliant, man. He doesn't stop. Does not stop. I can't believe it. The stick I would give him. The only thing I would say was yesterday was a final ball. It was the only thing that was lacking in that first half. The final ball for both Maeda and Jota just wasn't there. Well, that's because of the state of the pitch or whatever else. It wasn't happening for us. But again, he's brought on players that have changed it, and we changed in the second half. After we get that first goal, we stopped getting out wide anyway. We started coming inside with the ball and getting at them through the middle. And again, we've got players that can do that. You can get rid of your Jotas, your Maedas and all that, and bring in these other players that play a different way, but you can still keep the same shape of the team. And you wouldn't notice. If that was the team that started the way, you'd have been happy with it.
Aye, definitely. I'm actually glad you brought up Iwata, because I'm actually going to play a wee clip here. And you're talking about energy levels and fitness. This is later in the game. Obviously, he's freshly on, but this is him. Now, bearing in mind he's not played a lot of games, so this is him getting flung on in a cup final. Ryan, I'll bring you in after I play this wee clip, okay? And you can tell me what you think. But I find this absolutely astonishing. He actually, if you watch this, he starts this move and then creates the actual overall chance that comes afterwards. Here it's here. Ryan, I'm actually going to play that one more time, and I want you to concentrate on his press on the ball as soon as, I think it's Ryan Kent that's got the ball here. Mm-hmm. Watch his press, watch his speed him get up to the man here. I actually stand corrected. It wasn't Ryan Kent, it was Raskin. And that's what led to the foul, which I was saying to you there, that I think that's a yellow card.
Aye, that is.
The actual dive, the lunge at Abada, because he knows he's getting nowhere near the ball. But Ryan, this isn't something new. We're now starting to see. This is something that's been with that team now for Big Ange took the reins at Celtic Park. But the team has went like that in terms of fitness level. The full team, not just Awata. But what Ed picked up on there is the way he played when he came on. Now, on that, he's obviously two-footed and very comfortable with his 2 feet because his first pass is with his right foot. His second pass to create a right leg chance is with his left foot. But it's his speed at what he does it at. The actual press, to put pressure on you straight away. I find that absolutely astonishing, mate.
That goes back to what Ada said as well. Every guy who comes off the bench knows their job. They're all training the same way. They're all doing the same thing the manager's asking. They're all... Every player knows how to high press. They all know how to do that type of work rate and desire to win. And that's, like you say, he got up, tackled, and he's back up again at 10 seconds later. He's back up trying to score a goal and get a rally. So, again, we've not seen too much of him, so we can't judge him too much. But just on that, you know, he's here to play for us. He's got a will to win, a desire. He's fit, he's sharp. And knowing about, like Ada says, a guy I want to speak about is Maeda. I think he flatters to deceive technically. Some games he scores good goals, and like yesterday he was on the ball at the park. I'm like, oh no, I'm like, listen, that's embarrassing. Like, you can't run the ball at the park, man. Come on. But then look at his work rate. He's non-stop. He actually stopped James Tavernier playing yesterday. Tavernier did not get an ounce at anything. He didn't get past Maeda. He couldn't get up and down. Like I always say to you, JP, if you stop Barisic for getting the ball in the box and you stop Tavernier getting the ball in the box, you stop Rangers. Because everything he's doing that side, they're good. Well, Tavernier's not the best deliveries, but Barisic's left peg is pretty good. When they get that time and space, they can pick a pass. They can pick a ball. Morelos, he put a bit of timber, but he is a goal scorer. Maybe not against us, but he is. And like that ball felt him in the box. It just forced him sometimes. He's got a knack of doing that. But we stopped that yesterday. Alistair Johnson might not be the best going forward in terms of getting by men and getting the ball in the box, but he's solid defensively. It's maybe a thing. Yeah, JJ wasn't the best defensively. He was better going forward. But Johnson's, I say the opposite. He's far better defensively, and that is your main job to do. That's not me comparing him. I'm just telling you how I see Johnson. But Maeda, definitely, by the way, he might not be technically the best in the squad. Again, he could be better than me. We're maybe saying he is if you look at his stats, etc. But from my point of view, technically, I think he's maybe got to do a bit better. But his work rate and desire and fight for the team, it's incredible. And he's another guy, as much as we're saying, like, Hasebanovic is probably too good to him on the bench. Jota's too good to him on the bench if he's on the bench. Abada probably the same. But his work rate, you need his work rate, and especially next year when you're going to hope for the Champions League, you need that work rate. By the way, I know he might not be the best, like maybe technically. If you've got work rate, that will help your ability because you've got that behind you. So I thought he did. Again, people might say, "Oh, Ryan, you get back to your always." Giving Taylor a bit of stick, but I thought Taylor sometimes was a wee bit no sharp enough yesterday. There was one with Sakala. He sold himself, and he was lucky that nothing happened for it. But a few times Maeda was covering him. He was stopping it because his work rate, like Ada was saying. So, but on that, mate, the work rate of the squad's phenomenal. Even, I've always said, JPC, even if we played that game yesterday and we played well, we worked hard, and we just get beat on the day. You go, do you know what? I'm gutted, but you know what? Fair enough. We worked hard. We tried our best. It didn't work out. But on Rangers, on the other hand, if you're trying to tell me that they worked their socks off for 90 minutes, then I generally don't know what game you're watching. Because some of the times, Ryan Kent was just walking back. Morelos, there was actually a bit in the second half. I think it was Maeda had the ball, and I think Taylor was next to him. And they gave the ball to Taylor. Morelos was just about behind Taylor. Didn't even try and get him. Didn't try and go and dart to get the ball. And I said, look at him. I went, that's the guys that we're trying to get him to win leagues and cup finals. you can have all the ability in the world, but see if you've not got good attitude, you know how to win for your teammates and help your teammates by working hard, then you've absolutely no chance of winning any league title. You have no chance of beating this Celtic team because the work rate of this team, JP, it's the best I've ever seen. I'm not saying that guys like in the past have not worked hard because we've won trophies, so they have, but you can see it now. As soon as you lose the ball, they're hunting in packs. There's no 2 or 3 guys.
Yeah.
They're absolutely hunting packs. So for me, it's imperative, by the way, that Maeda probably plays most games because his work rate is just, obviously you need to rest guy, you can give him game time, but I think the big games now, JP, I think he plays. But one thing I'll put to Ada as well, I don't know what you think, Ada, but a guy who was in the squad yesterday was James Forrest. I don't know if this is maybe again, if maybe I'm talking too soon, maybe too looking too far into the future, but a guy like that, no even in the squad yesterday, I think it's maybe his time at Celtic come to an end and maybe taking part in a lot of games because that's a massive game. He's got experience in playing these games, maybe not playing the best in these games, but he's still got that winning mentality experience and he was in the squad yesterday. Unless he's injured, we don't know, but we've not heard anything like that. So if it's because he's not in the squad, is that maybe a sign for things to come for James Forrest?
I think maybe same as you say, we've not heard anything about him being injured, but he's not even been in that 31-man squad and he's not there. Is to me, so I've been Forrest's biggest cheerleader for years, man. Even loads of people giving him stick have been there, but I maybe his time's probably coming to an end, I'd say. In fact, I'd say he'd be lucky to see it through the summer without going somewhere else. And he's at an age now, he's not going to really go many places, probably either somewhere else in our league or championship in England. I think his time's probably up, to be fair, but I love the boy, man. I used to argue with people till I was blue in the face about him and pull his stats out and show him the things he's contributed to us has been unreal, and he never gets enough credit for this. A boy who's been here for years and never even had a testimonial. Baffling. He's a quiet boy. He doesn't. You never hear about him in the press or nothing. He just comes in, just plays for Celtic. That's what he's lived for. Injuries have set him back a good bit. I think if he was a player who could keep his fitness, I think he would still go to keep him at the team anyway, and he would still be all right now. But I think because of injuries and his body probably took a beating early years, which happens when you're a winger. You're going to get battered a bit. But I think his time's probably up. If not, it's very close to being up.
I think it's just more down to it's not his overall ability. I think it's more down to the quality that Ange has brought in his position. You look at Haksabanovic. Listen, by the way, in my opinion, I think he's far too good to be a sub. I'm maybe going to be a bit controversial here, even everybody that's watching and listening into this here. Probably you two guys are probably going to have a different opinion, but I'm maybe going to be a wee bit controversial here in the next say. I don't think Jota's performed anywhere near where we would have liked over the last couple of games, especially. I've not seen his numbers, but in terms of what Haksabanovic has done just off his substitute appearances, it just looks a wee bit more effective to me. I thought he was quiet again. He was much more quieter yesterday, Jota, than apart from that shot at goal in the first half. I don't really remember an nutmeg on Ryan Kent, which, by the way, if that's no on Soccer AM, I don't know what you need to do to get on Soccer AM. I'll be looking for that on Saturday, to be fair, lads. But this isn't a dig at Jota because he's absolutely caviar in my opinion. But I just think the last couple of games, I think he's just maybe, which swingers do, they take a wee dip in sort of performance level. Maybe he just needs that wee 1 or 2 games back on the bench to then get the hunger back in his belly to start. Just a wee quick reminder of don't get too complacent because everybody in that squad is replaceable. And under Big Ange, we've seen it. Mm-hmm. I think under you look at the Giakoumakis situation. Giakoumakis isn't at Celtic anymore because he's lack of ability. There's obviously something else behind why he's not there anymore, and it looks plainly obvious now. So, in my opinion, Ange set a precedent there when he says to him, right, if there's wee snippets of you no want to give your all to this club, then you'll not play. You'll spend a lot of time on the bench. You'll spend a lot of time doing a lot of training, but you'll get lack of game time. Because I'm a boss, and I'll say what goes. And I think that set the sort of tone for the rest of the squad. But just on the Jota thing there, I think Haskabanovic is just too good a player to leave on the bench. Now, I think Maeda's done well in terms of his work rate. And I think his running numbers would probably be a massive reason as to why you wouldn't take him out the team. Because he's a lethal weapon, in my opinion, Maeda, in terms of his press and everything he gives us. I mean, yesterday, I even forgot, it was in the second half when he ran in and took the ball off him, I forgot James Tavernier was playing. Because he went from being the Hall of Famer and the best right back in the world to being an absolute trumpet and not being able to go out the halfway line yesterday because Maeda took the ball off him. I don't know how many. I lost count after 5. And I get what he's saying there in terms of Maeda's delivery as well. He needs to sort of work on that, especially that left-footed like cross. If he's not going to dart inside, then he definitely needs to work on that. But Ryan, what's your thoughts on the Haskabanovic situation there, and obviously with the Jota thing as well? Is it just me, or is it? I don't know if he's. I don't know if he's just. If it's just I hope it's a couple of games, and then against St Mirren he goes out and scores 2 or 3. But where's your head there in terms of Jota?
Well, like I said to you the other day as well, I think I've said to you personally, I think I said on this as well, Haskabanovic probably is too good to be on the bench. I think I did say to you. He is very good. Again, I don't think he's fully fit because he's only getting 10 15 minutes here and there. I really like him. I think he's a top player. If he was to play every week, like Ada says, you just wouldn't bother if he plays every week because he is that good. There's been flashes of him where I'm thinking, how do we get him for so low? Like, it's incredible. I think next year you'll see the fruits of Haskabanovic, a full pre-season under us properly, and then obviously into the new season. I think guys like him, Awata, I think he'll be guys for next year. Kobayashi to properly, even Johnson, show the full potential. But for me, I the thing with Jota is he's still young, he's still a bit raw as well. I think, again, this is not me comparing to Ronaldo because I'm just saying the way Ronaldo came to Man United, he was trying to dribble all the time, he was trying to fancy stuff, he was trying to look good, he was trying things that was a wee bit out of his reach at that point in time. And guys like Roy Keane and Giggs and Neville and Ferguson says, look, just pass the ball, keep it simple and all that will come. And then within a few months, Ronaldo was unbelievable because he listened. I think Jota yesterday, he's trying to be fizzing passes. By the way, I love doing the passes I played because they look amazing when they pull off. But see, when they don't pull off, you're getting the ball away and let your other teams on the attack. So sometimes maybe things like that he's got to do better. The wee flicks and tricks. There's times and places when you do it when you're 4-5-0 up. Don't a cup final when you're 1-0, only 1-0 or 2-1 down, 2-1 up. So I can probably say, Jake, it's maybe just down to inconsistency. For me, Abad is the same. 2 or 3 games in a row, he's scoring 2 and 3 goals and getting man and match performances. Then for 3 games, he's not seen again because he's not consistent enough. So I just think maybe at a young age, mate, a bit of experience, a bit of want to impress, but again, I've not seen his total numbers, but I think it's like 18 goals, 17 goals, 17 assists, roughly like 55 games or something, roughly like that. Pretty decent, I would say, considering he's his first year or 2 in Scottish football, playing consistently. I think maybe for what we did pay for him, you maybe look for a wee tiny bit more of flashiness, a wee bit better. But again, I think he's caviar, JP. I think he's really good. I think he's one of the players that can really go where he wants to go. If he really puts his foot to the flare, I don't think he'll be here in 2 or 3 years' time because he'll enhance his career because his footwork's exceptional. See, actually, a lot of guys, obviously, we're privileged, you get season books and you get to see these games. Some guys, unfortunately, maybe due to obviously the way the season books is and obviously financial stuff, you can't go and see the team up and close and personal. See me see this guy up front and personal, his footwork is sensational. He's so quick, he's so sharp. Now, imagine playing against that, and Rangers players can't cope with it. So imagine guys like sitting in that playing against it. It must be so hard, honestly. But and I know what you're laughing, but it must
His
be so
movement's
hard.
frightening, I know.
It's phenomenal. I just think it's maybe I can see where coming from it. I can, because my old man said the exact same. He's like, Ryan, I know he's done so well and scored goals, but for
A wee sanity check for me then. I'm glad I'm not the only one that feels the same.
No, my old man did say the same. He said this to me a few times now. He even said it during the game yesterday. He says, Ryan, for the money we're paid for him, I kind of want to see a bit more from him. But I just think that's maybe due to inconsistency, because like Ada says, and I've said all along, that wingers are inconsistent, even at the top level. Even guys like Mbappe don't score every game and don't create chances every game. It's just a winger position. They're inconsistent, and that's why I keep saying to you as well. Strikers who are consistent, that's why they're worth their weight in gold, because they're no inconsistent. Guys like Kyogo, we were during the season, or maybe he's not should be playing Jackie Marcus, but see when he's no scoring goals, he's still contributing in some capacity. If that's holding the ball in, if it's going to the channels, if he's linked to play, he's still contributing. I don't know what you think about the Jota situation that JP says already, but for me, I just think it's due to inexperience and maybe just been a bit inconsistent.
I must say that exact same as you. I think it's an age thing, gaining that bit of experience, figuring out for himself what works for him, but it's also figuring out the time when to figure these things out, and for now only using the things that does work. You said, with my 3-4 goals ahead, try all these new things that you want to try. Another thing I know is when he's on the right, he's not as good as where he is on the left. But if you play him on the left, you're dropping Maeda, because you're not playing Maeda on the right. You're bringing a bad on, and I thought Maeda, again, if you watched it yesterday, made a big difference. But so I'm not really wanting to base him too much on that. But is after the World Cup, Jota had a good 2-3 games, went inconsistent, get dropped, and then came back into the team after 2 games on the bench. Brilliant again for a good run of games, and now he's starting to dip again. But you're going to see that. You say it happens with all wingers. We've seen it for years and years with Forrest, for example, and every winger there isn't a winger out there that's consistent every game. It very rarely happens. As wingers, you're coming up. If you're a Maeda and you're going against Tavernier, you'll have a field day. If you're Maeda and you're going up against Allen or Johnson, that's a different kettle of fish. So it's all down to the players you're up against, I know. If you're up against players who are a bit better defensively, don't come forward too much, maybe it makes you look worse than you're playing and forces you to try these new things. And if they're not working, then you're made to look as if you're off form a wee bit. But I think for what we're seeing, I don't think Ange wouldn't have noticed it. I'm pretty sure it'll be there somewhere in the back of his mind. I'm sure we've got a good couple of games coming quick and fast here. Quick and fast, right. And I'm sure we'll see Haksabanovic coming in instead of Jota or instead of Maeda, and seeing what he can bring to the team. And because Haksabanovic, the games he's played, 1 or 2 you can probably say haven't been 100%. The other ones he's been absolute class. Even when he's come off the bench, he's changed games. Even when we've been ahead, he's come in and he's done something, nearly scored, set up a goal. Haksabanovic has been a great player, and it's probably, but this kind of run towards the end of the season is probably the best time to start using them, because the games for now till we're playing, if we get to the Scottish Cup final, you're basically playing 2-3 games a week for now at the end of the season, and this is when you need to use that squad depth that we've got. Maybe time to give Jota a wee break, let him find his feet a wee bit, have a word with him, talk to other people, figuring out what works for him, what doesn't work for him, and no use it so much in a cup final against your biggest rivals when you're only 1 goal ahead.
I'm glad you mentioned Alistair Johnson there, Ryan, because I thought he was outstanding yesterday, and I'm glad we've got him, because we've now got a guy that would do things like this, and he'll not take MD's nonsense. He was going to throttle him yesterday, by the way. I don't know if any of you's actually seen that up close and personal. Colak backed away from him quite quickly. I don't know what AJ said to him, but he was like, well, hold on a wee minute. And then I seen Raskin going there and saying something to him. I don't know if Raskin's maybe got a thing called wee man syndrome or whatever, what people would call it, but he was quickly put in his place again, and it looks like he's no nonsense. He looks very physical. Don't know if you remember in the game as well, Ryan. Ada, you were there yesterday, so you've probably seen it. He takes the ball off Ryan Kent, knocks him on his backside.
Mm-hmm.
He then runs. Barisic is trying to run alongside him. He just gives him a wee nudge like that, wee shoulder. And big Bobby Boucher ends up dropping to his legs, just falls to his knees and sits down again. Like I says, so that's more than one game now. Big Bobby Ryan has decided to do this in a game. It's becoming a wee bit of his trademark now, in all honesty. That's it's becoming a regular occurrence with Bobby Boucher, the water boy as I call him. But talk about Alistair Johnson there. I just think he's solid, Ryan. I just think there's everything about, as a defender, mate, he's everything you want in your team. And I think he's a massive reason. Fixture at Ibrox, and then again yesterday. And we mentioned the water as well. Our physicality is just well like that in the team because of these two guys.
I still do think in terms of maybe Scottish football, you might get away with being those physical, but I definitely think I'm always trying to plan for the future, and especially Europe, so I want to stay well in Europe. I still think European wise you need a big bruiser in the middle of the park. You need somebody that's going to just take the game and stuff the neck in terms of but that's next season. But we've been crying for that for years, JP. It's not just this season. Ever since Wanyama left, we've not had somebody like that. I know what I could be that, but we've not seen enough of him to put him in that kind of position yet. So but for me, overall, the game yesterday, mate, I just think it's another wee point proven. It's another wee point proven to the media because they kind of not really a lot of them really were. A few media outlets were giving Celtic the benefit of doubt, saying Celtic won their own form and this and that, but most talk was about Rangers, and sometimes when you talk, like Ada says, sometimes it's better to just no talk, just train hard, eat well, sleep well, do what you can. Aye, that mob there. You're just better to just do the right things, and then if you prepare properly, then it normally helps you when you go on the park, because if you don't prepare well during the week, it does have an effect on you. And they're not prepared all week because the fact he's put on two guys as well that weren't fit is crazy. I knew within 10 minutes that Tillman and Lunston weren't fit. They just weren't at it at all. And the boy Tillman's too lightweight. It's already been tricky and nice, but if you've not got a bit about you, you're no handle to Celtic Rangers. That's just not going to happen. You can be the best player in the world, but if you're not going to handle the pressure and physicality of these games and bottle it, then I don't think you'll be here any longer. My overriding thought, Johnson, is I think maybe next year or maybe during the summer you maybe see him doing a bit more in terms of progressing forward-wise, but defensively he's sound as, mate. There's no question about him defensively. Again, most of these players now, you don't really get judged in Scotland this season because they've played the games now. You know roughly what they're going to do. It will be, hopefully, the Champions League next year. That's when your Awatas, your Johnsons, that's when they'll get tested to the full, and that's when you'll see who they are. But again, that's months and months ahead, mate. But I think the only thing I could take, if I was a Rangers fan, I would be a bit worried now. Your team weren't up for it. You can tell they weren't up for it. The manager taking them at the end of the park doing a Phil Brown. What was that all about? Talking to him, that's crazy, absolutely crazy. I think some of the fans are actually realising that Michael Beale, again, it could be premature. Next season we could, as Dave King says, we could fold out a pack of cards. We missed that one out, Mr. Dave King. Fold out a pack of cards. See, the thing is, but JP, I don't think Dave King realises that a pack of cards is sturdy. A pack of cards don't fold. A pack of cards don't move. So
that's what he was doing on the part there yesterday, Ryan, with the team. I'm not sure if the camera view wasn't 100% zoomed in.
I don't think anybody's actually picked that up. That a pack of cards don't fall. A pack of cards are sturdy. They don't move.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think Dave King, again, don't know the guy for Adam, but I don't think the brightest of sparks for some
The
of his
Lion
comments. Aye.
Dave King came in his tenor, Celtic won a quadruple treble.
Listen, again, I know people are going to say, oh, Ryan, what you talking about this for? But listen, you're going for a treble now. Just put it there. You've got to win the league. You've got to try and win the Scottish Cup. You've got one up. Listen, I know Ange will talk about it. Some fans don't like talking about it until maybe you get to a final. But listen, is it a quarter-final in it? Hearts in it, quarter-final, that's right, in it? The Scottish?
Aye,
So you're 3 games away for just about winning the treble. Because, like we've said, I know we're not going to sit here and say the league's won and it's finished, but you've got to... It'd be very hard, in my opinion. I'm
saying nothing because I don't want to end up in another podcast. I remember the last time
but in general, mate, I just think it's another positive game for Celtic, another positive outcome. I'm just really happy about that. Our players, our big players, again, Kyogo, no Jota wasn't amazing, but these guys still turned up. Hatate, McGregor, by the way, different gravy, absolutely different gravy. McGregor doesn't get mentioned much because he does it every week. It's effortless now. The guy is just different gravy. And I think, again, people might not rate him, but for me, he's Scotland's most important player, and he's probably Celtic's most important player because when he plays, Celtic play. And again,
we also did well. We did well in his absence as well because O'Reilly fitted in well as well.
Definitely, but I don't think you get the same Celtic when he's on the team. It was similar. I know even with Scott Brown was company's
everybody thought that when Brownie wasn't going to be there anymore.
But see, to be fair, when Scott Brown was company's end and Scott Brown wasn't playing in that season, we did wrap up again because he wasn't playing. He was this is where you see how good these guys really are when they step away. When McGregor was injured, we're still winning games, we're still playing well, but you play better when he's in the team. But overall, mate, I'm just absolutely buzzing that the team's getting our trophy. Cal McGregor, I think it's 15 trophies, 15 finals at Hampden, I think he's won. He's not lost a final at Hampden, which is unbelievable. I think we've got 22 trophies in 11 years, but yet we've still got a shaky defence. Joe Hart's a bomb scare, Starfelt's a bomb scare, Kyogo's lightweight, McGregor's not good enough to go down south. I think we'll leave it at that for now.
Ange will be sacked before Christmas. You can go on and on and on. Hey, Dad, just going back to the original point there, I thought about Alistair Johnson, mate, and obviously his aggression. What's your overall thoughts on him so far for what you've seen?
Oh, I love it. I don't think I've seen him play bad for after the first 15 minutes of his first derby. I don't think I've seen him made the odd mistake here and there, but you've not seen him play a bad game. You've not even seen him have a bad spell in a game. I just think his overall work rate is brilliant. He wants every ball. Showing that picture with him with Kola, his physicality, he gets in your face. I think that's like, because he mentioned in an interview before where he had a decision at one point whether to play ice hockey or football. I think that's probably the ice hockey player in him, is getting in your face, I'll no back down.
Yeah.
And I think the players realise that when they come up against him, that boy's not going to back away from me. I'll back away from him because he's not going to take any of it. He might be all happy and smiles and everything else, but he looks like the kind of boy that would rip your head off if it came to it, because that's the way he's been brought up in the sport he plays and the other, no sport he plays now, but the sport he played before. Just honestly, an absolutely phenomenal player. Getting forward, needs work doing. When he does get forward, maybe whipping the ball in is no for him, but the balls he's played along the deck that have turned into goals or turned into another player getting an assist for a goal have been phenomenal. He doesn't really, but it's that getting forward and taking on players he kind of needs to work on. He'll get there, but defensive wise, in fact, I'd say defensive wise, he's probably been our best fullback for a long, long time.
Yep.
All the other fullbacks we've had since the way back in the first Neil Lennon era have all been attacking fullbacks. They've all been one back type players who all wanted to get up the park, whereas he's a wee bit different. He can defend, come forward, needs to improve on, but he's just a different type of player, and I've enjoyed every minute he's played for Celtic now. It's a shame because you've got Ralston there. I don't think Ralston will get a sniff as long as Johnson's playing football. He's head and shoulders above Ralston. To be fair, I love Ralston, but He's head and shoulders above him. It's just everything. Do you know another player that plays yesterday? I don't think we really spoke too much about was Starfelt. I thought Starfelt yesterday was phenomenal.
Says it you, Ryan, didn't I? Text you last night.
Yeah, big CCV. I thought was only playing at about 50% his capacity, and I thought Starfelt covered well for him. Watched him during the game. He controlled that back line. He was honestly, he never shut up. He made sure everybody was where they needed to be. Anytime CCV had made a bit of a balls up, he was in, he was covering for him, he was getting the ball. Every time Taylor was there, when Tab was coming forward and Taylor's managed to get the ball, Starfelt was there in space, taking the ball off him, moving the ball about. And you know what? Only maybe 3 or 4 times he had the ball, did they pass it back to right heart. Every other time, he's found space and brought that ball forward. And 1 or 2 slack passes he made the whole game, which is an improvement to about 80%, because usually it's every other pass. I thought he was phenomenal. Probably one of our best players in the party, if I'm honest. Him, Big Moy, I thought were brilliant and all, but I thought Starfelt was amazing yesterday. Yeah,
no, I totally agree with you, mate. I said to Ryan last night, I thought he was absolutely world class yesterday for us. Absolutely top notch. That's what I could use for Starfelt. And I called to be back in early doors with the two of them. I says, Carter Vickers is a strong one out of the two of them, and Starfelt's the one that's more technical. He can read the game a bit better. He's better at challenging, timing his tackles on the deck and stuff. And it's played out exactly the way I called it to be back about a year ago. And yesterday I thought he was excellent. Yesterday was a wee bit of the tables turn because Starfelt won nearly every header that came towards the box. I think there was one Sakala's trying to, I don't know, but I think he was trying to emulate one of Michael Jackson's dances or something like that when he was trying to run with the ball. And Starfelt, I don't know if you remember it, Starfelt just stood up, didn't dive in, didn't do anything daft, just stood up, let the ball hit off him, and it hit back off Sakala, and we got a goal kick for it. It just took the pressure right away for the whole team. Probably, I think it was, it would have been done your end, because you were sort of behind that goal, weren't you, at that time? So, it just took the whole pressure away for the team. And I know what you're saying there. There was a couple of times, it was one he played off Cantwell's chest, and it came back to him. But you obviously, everybody didn't realise that's how clever and witty Starfelt is. I mean, he was only playing it. He was letting the boy get a touch of the ball. He was just on the park. So he was just keen a boy a touch of the boy. He realised the boy was a bit cold, a bit new to that fixture. So he's like, here's a touch of the ball, son. But obviously, he wasn't good enough to control it. I'll take it back now and I'll do what I need to do to get my team moving forward. And that's the way that went. But getting back to Alistair Johnson, one of the guys that's actually listening in has just actually stole my thunder with the comment I was going to make about him. Alistair Johnson reminds me of Mikael Lustig. And I think already he's going to have that impact in the team. I think he's going to be vital to the Celtic team. I think he's going to be an important player as we go forward. He's clearly a big voice, which is why you can see him getting in the thick of things, as you say, Zayda. He looks like when it comes to that side of the game, he looks like he'll rip your head off. There was a challenge on Iwata yesterday, guys. I don't know if you remember it. And that's what all that came off the backy. It was a challenge where Ryan Kent slides in Iwata, and there was a wee bit of a scramash for the players. That was where that stemmed from, where that photo I put up there with him and Joe. That's what all that came off the backy. He stepped in and went like that, right, we're not having that. Enough you. And then the game at Ibrox as well. He put Sakala in his place. He was moaning about a foul. And he's like, him, are you having a laugh? Beat it. Stupid. As if, right, away you go. We've not had that, Ryan, since maybe Bruni. No, a wee bit of mouthing, but he was getting a wee bit off the ball. And see if you watch him, he was talking to him as if to say, you think you're better than me, don't you? Like, blah, blah, blah. And you could see him talking to Kent. Because when he took the ball off Kent, he kind of turned back and he said something to Kent as if to say, easy wee man, and ran away from him. Something like that. It was something along you could see it was something along the lines. And that's when he pushed big Bobby Boucher off the ball and all. But you can see how strong he is. I think that's the important part as well. And another one I wanted to bring up with you guys, obviously we're near the end, but just before we finish up, is the physicality of this man here. Because, in my opinion, I didn't think it was a foul or a yellow card. I just thought he was too strong for Big Davis. I thought he was too strong for Big Betty Davis eyes, or as you called him, Ryan. Big Bendy Devo.
Big Bendo Devo.
Big Bendo Devo. I thought he was too strong for him. And he just hits the deck. Like, I don't know. An under fives.
A pack of cards, as Dave King would
Aye,
say.
hits the deck like a pack of cards, aye. No, I think McGregor says to him, mate, did you force on? He says, no, I'm trying to break a bar of chocolate in my back pocket.
No, but I can see, to be fair, I thought it was a yellow, to be fair. I thought he knew what he was doing.
Really?
Aye, mate, it was a right elbow. He knew what he was doing. It was a strong, but I liked it, but see, doing these things, you need to do that. Obviously, with VAR now, you can't really do it because you'll get caught, but they were the old dark arts that I used to speak about. See your dark arts in football that Scott Brown used to do, and when the referee's not looking, you would give him a wee flick, a wee elbow, you let him know you're there. That's what he kind of done, but you get obviously you get booked for it. But that's what we do need, a bit of strength, a bit of physicality. In terms of the way, again, I can't judge him yet in terms of how he's going to play for us, how he's going to score goals for us. I've not seen enough of him yet. I can see that he's strong. He holds the ball up well, but I can't really judge him on his full ability yet because we've not seen enough of him yet. He's going to start 2 or 3, 4 games in a row, but that's going to be hard at Celtic. When, let's be fair, you're still wanting to go for trophies. You're still wanting to go and win things, and that's.
I thought it was a big shout, Ryan, for the manager to throw him on in a final yesterday. Especially he's not a lot of game time as well. So I thought that was a big shout.
Because I'm not being honest. I did say to him, "Oh man, see 2-1." Again, I know he's not here anymore, but I did say to my dad, "This is a game that you would bring on Giacomakis. This is a game you bring him on for." And I've not got that about O yet. We've not seen him enough. I can't go right put O on now because I don't know what he can fully do yet. So I can't fully. Obviously, the manager trusts him, so you've got to trust him. But I don't know if he's going to come on and do well in a big game yet. I don't know yet because nobody can really know. It's only really the manager that knows that. So he's done well when he's played in terms of coming off the bench and stuff. But again, I think next year you'll see the best of him, JP. I don't think it'll be this season unless he just kicks on and scores a few goals and gets into his rhythm. But I don't think you'll see the best he'll get until next season, mate. But
do you think that's the plan, though? Do you think that sort of
probably
it doesn't matter? We're not in a hurry because Ange knows overall what he's going to be able to do.
I think he was only signed because Giacomakis was leaving. I think if Giacomakis was staying, they might have just signed him and maybe kept him as a third choice here and there. And then next season they'd be like, there you go, this is your time. But with obviously Giacomakis gone, he's probably got a bit more game time. But overall, mate, I think maybe the Johnson's, mate, he's a warrior. You can see that. But again, I think that will be for next year in Europe. I think that's where you'll see the strength for these guys when it comes to putting the needle on the thread. So, but overall for me, mate, the game yesterday, brilliant performance. When I say brilliant performance, I don't think we were amazing. We just done enough to win the game. I don't think we had to be amazing. Rangers weren't at it. That was due to us. No, let them be at it because we stopped them. I'm just happy, mate, that people are actually realising now. I don't know why it's took for us to win a final for them to realise how good the squad is. I'm not saying we're the best things in sliced bread because we'll probably go to, you can play Man City and they'll probably beat you 5 or 6-0. But in terms of Scottish football, right now, we are the standard. We are the best team in Scotland.
Yeah.
We've got the best man. We've got the best at everything. People can come to me and Ada and you and say, oh, he's talking rubbish. And aye, fair enough, that's your opinion. But if you look at the stats and you look at the facts, we're just telling you what's there. We're 9 points ahead. It's like 24 goals ahead. You've got a final in the bag. You've got a cup in the bag. You've got a quarter final. You're 2-3 away for getting a possible treble. So the facts are there. So until the next time, mate, I think they can do some more talking behind the scenes.
No, definitely. Not just do Andy Gray either. He's a wee pot and he doesn't know it. We look at the stats and look at the facts. He loves throwing wee ones in there as we go. That's why we love him, mate. I'll give you the last thoughts. Obviously, just before I bring you in, the one we've not spoke about and I want to chuck in is because I've backed him all the way. Even though the arguments between the two of them all the way, I've backed him. And it was so chuffed for him yesterday, the wee man, Kyogo. 2 finals, Ada. 4 goals in 2 games. And against them in that fixture, that's now 3 goals in 2 games. not just his goal scoring, it's his overall movement in the game, what he brings to the team, what he draws for the defenders, the mistakes that he pounces on straight away, the pressure he puts people under. It's probably a big reason as to why when they play against us, they need to go diagonally and long because they can't play. I don't think I remember seeing them play out against this Ange Postecoglou team once, apart from going long and direct all the time. But it's because of guys like Maeda, Abada, Kyogo. It's the press these guys and the pressure these guys put them under. But I'm just wanting to give a wee man a shout here because he's been absolutely astonishing and he's kicked on this season again, in my opinion, in terms of goals. But what's your last thoughts yesterday and then obviously moving forward?
I'll touch on Kyogo first. I think the boy's amazing. You say he's working off the ball. Everything he does, he reminds me of Gary Hooper. Very much like Gary Hooper. The way he just gets about the box, he leaves players, defenders in knots. Goldson didn't know what to do with him yesterday. And anytime Goldson managed to get the ball, he was hoofing it up the park just to get it away, just in case something else happened. It was like watching somebody playing junior football, honestly. He was just bouncing it right out of the park and it was going anywhere just to get the ball away for Kyogo. And he had him in knots so many times. And we see it week in, week out. And the goals he scores, I don't think there's a type of goal he can score. Minus his header that he should have scored yesterday, but he does your headers. He gets your wee goals where he's the 2 goals he got yesterday where he's just running into the box. He gets the wee runs forward. He can score from outside the box. He can set goals up. He can come out wide and set goals up. He can come in inside and set goals up. He's just an absolute phenomenal player. But as for yesterday, that's, as you say, a game where we're still stuck in second gear and we've not committed for the World Cup ended. We've just been playing with ease. We've no struggled in any game. We've had periods twice against them where we've kind of lost our way a wee bit for 15, 20 minutes and then came right back into it. That's 2 games we've done it against them. But every other game, you've not been worried. After you see you playing for the first 10 minutes, you're looking going, right, same as last time. And it's happening time and time again. And it doesn't look to be stopping. If it does stop, obviously things can happen. And as you say, it's part by it can happen, but it just doesn't look to be stopping anytime soon. Every game I look forward to. I can remember times, even when we were winning leagues and doing well, I can remember times going, don't want to play this game. You were coming up against the likes of your Aberdeens, your Livingston's going potential banana skin. And every game I look forward to, I don't fear anybody at all, as long as we're playing the way we've been playing since World Cup. And if we find that next year or the next 2 years, well, as you say, we set the standards, and I don't see anybody in our league meeting these standards anytime soon.
No, I have to agree with that. And obviously, moving forward, like I says to you, Ryan, we want to put a foot to the flare and try and get things wrapped up pretty much as quick as we can, and just keep the pressure going and obviously keep this momentum going. Because as Ada says, right now we're playing in second gear. We haven't come away from it, and obviously a long may it continue. Obviously, that brings us to the end of tonight's episode. I want to thank you guys first and foremost for coming on and having a chat with us. I know I've took up quite a bit of your time tonight, but that's what happens when time flies when you're having fun. Also, when you start flinging cloaks at each other as well, time will fly then as well. But everybody else that's tuned in tonight, thank you very much. I'm sorry I can't get everybody's comment up on the screen because there's just that far too many. Obviously, I've picked out a couple tonight as we're going through. Just before we finish, guys, remember the early bird offer for the Celtic Foundation Supporters Club for the Seville Road to Seville, night that's happening in the Crown Plaza Hotel. The offer ends on tomorrow, Tuesday the 28th. So it's called Seville the Celtic Way, and that's from the Celtic FC Supporters Foundation. Early bird ticket, £60 a head, or 600 per table of 10. And after tomorrow, guys, if you've not bought them beforehand, it goes up to £65 a head, and it would be £650 for your table of 10. to get in contact with them, they're on Facebook, they're on Twitter, Celtic FC Foundation Supporters Club. All you need to do is type that in and you can contact them via the message on either of those apps if you're on those apps. It's a girl called Lisa Muller who is the chairperson for the foundation. Friendly girl, no problem. She'll be able to instruct you further, obviously, if you want to buy tickets and how to go about it. The bar for that is running across the screen as of right now. Again, anybody else that's new to the channel, if you like tonight's content and you've liked what you've seen, please don't hesitate to hit the wee bell and the subscribe button. Basically, it's free to do, by the way. It won't charge you any money if you do it. And it just allows you to then tune in to our big smiling faces when the next time we're back on. It just gives you a notification as to when we go live. Anyone that doesn't know how to do it and you're maybe new to it, when you go to hit the subscribe button, if you don't have a YouTube account, it will prompt you to type in an email address and a wee password that you can remember, something that you remember, and then it'll allow you to hit the subscribe button. Again, the page, the Unrestricted View page, we're on all platforms as well, guys. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. You'll get us on any of those channels should any of you want to message us. I'll put up myself and Ryan's Twitter handle just now. Again, if anybody wants a blather, if you're maybe feeling like rubbish that day or feeling crap, maybe feeling down, don't hesitate to get in touch. We're always here and happy to help. We wouldn't want anyone sitting having a downer, basically. Not much of that's happening right enough if you're a Celtic fan, so obviously we're all in good spirits these days. But yeah, we're a friendly bunch, so please don't hesitate to get in touch. You can also get in touch with us on our YouTube channel through a section on page called The Community. Myself and Ryan have got direct access to that. We'll be putting up daily information about what's happening on the channel and what's coming up. Guys, it's been a pleasure, as I said. Thank you very much again for coming on. A massive hail for me, because I don't think I say it often enough when I'm on here. So again, a massive hail. Another 1 cup under my belt, and we're chasing another 2. Probably another 1. We're kind of halfway there with that one as well. So all we need to do is put our eggs into the basket of the Scottish Cup this time, because we kind of petered out for his last season, didn't it? So, but yeah, here's hoping we can get it wrapped up as soon as we can. And yeah, hail, guys. Cheers again.
Hail, cheers, boys.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Any chance of a lift back to Celtic Park? You're offering me a lift. Jump on a boat.
I think Ali was hoping it would be a bit further than Celtic Park, weren't you?
The manager, Ange Postecoglou, he's the leader.
A big milestone for the captain as well. Considering obviously where we were a wee while ago, didn't know who the captain was going to be. A few of us, including myself, wasn't sure about McGregor. I was kind of saying Julian and all that, and you weren't really sure who was going to come in as manager to start off with, and then who would be the captain. Obviously, because let's be fair, anybody who follows Scott Brown, it's always going to be a hard task to follow the way he was as a person, as a player, and as a captain. Not